Well, what do we have in this market? More uncertainty? Chop action? Could we expect anything else, really? I should have known better, but we'll talk about it. Let's get right into the market. Welcome to At the Close. Let's see what we got on the tape today, what moved, and of course, what might be coming next week. Let's talk about it. Welcome to At the Close.
All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
3 consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
Well, what do we got here?
Holy mackerel. We got a chop fest. This is want to be one of the choppiest days that I can remember. Get that Crocs off the screen.
It's kind of like
I'm
those
just
shoes, holes in it.
we went over 3,800 and things were looking good.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went down within 4 handles of the pre-market low. Things were looking bad. I really thought they were going to stick a fork in this market. And now we're rallying back up. We're still below the open, that 9:30 open, but not a bad day. I mean, I wanted to close above, or I'd like to see us close above Wednesday's close of 3767.75. That would just be like, okay, we put the Fed thing behind us, but not yet. The dollar's helping out. Holy mackerel, the dollar's getting smoked, down $2, 110.80. TLT, man, are we back on the low of the noob? Not quite yet. Down a $1.41. Big day for crude, up 446, 92.63. One of the biggest days for gold that I can remember in quite some time. Up 52.90 at 1683.80. Silver, did that trade in? It traded in the 18 handle yesterday, and you're back up at 21. I can't figure that out. Bitcoin, now that's trying to break out over 21. It's up 765. We were at 21.4, but it's back at 21. So a close above 21, that would be good. And then Ethereum futures, they're up 98.50. That's 6.37% at 1644.50.
Well, where do we start in this market? I guess let's start with leadership because that was one of the trouble that we had today. Apple's still in the red on the day. Can it get towards the green is what I'm asking here.
Oh, I don't. This is concerning. This is one of the worst weeks for Apple that I can remember in quite some time. Coming off the earnings, it was $4 in the green this morning, and then it went $4 in the red. So who says technical analysis doesn't work when your October low was 134.37 and your low today was 134.38? It missed it by pennies. So that's your level. I mean, and now you're rebounding. Nice double top in there, 42.80, 42.67. But it was that big tech rolling over. I mean, I see Mr. Softy coming back. But both Google and Amazon nosedived off the open. Amazon, new low for the move by $1 down to 88.04. Tesla, that's teetering. That's down 8%. Google's finally having a good day. But I'll tell you, these stocks, man, these things, I just want them to stop going down. They don't have to actually go up with the pace they did in 20 and 21. But there you got it. I mean, these stocks are still just too big in market cap, right? Just too big that they're just too much of a drag on the index.
Definitely. I mean, we're not going to be changing. There's not many times that I haven't seen the market just rip out and Apple now take part in the party, right? Normally, Apple's the leader in that party. So I think that's one area that we can just keep a close eye and see what happens. All right, let's get into some different areas. I'm just going to take a look at the biggest movers in the SPY, of course, and what kind of got moving today and kept moving was an area that I get wrong. Starbucks continuing towards the upside. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. Definitely
Sometimes
wrong
you
on
feel
Starbucks.
wow. Just blue. That's a tough chart right there. I think the only nice pre-market action took out the pre-market high, came down and made a new low. That area that I thought it was going to be resistance ended up being support. I mean, I think the only thing that you could have keyed off was this 93.48 low. That's the only thing you had up there. You would have gotten done 93.60, and now you're coming back down. But that is a gargantuan gap to fill here. Boy, in Starbucks. So as long as it stays above the gap, then we'll look okay. How's your bros doing?
Oh, the bros. It's just hanging on. It's hanging on. It's waiting for the bull story to catch backfire. But for right now, it's all about inflation
Yeah.
station with bros. They got to pay more for employees. They got to pay more for the plastic. They got to pay more for the paper. They got to pay more for the coffee. Coffee itself getting expensive, right? I mean,
Look
even
at
my
ooh,
coffee at my local grocery store getting more expensive. So,
look at beans and rice for me getting like uber bullish here. They're throwing us
oh,
490. He says he's looking for 94 to 96 in the dollar. Blow off top and all equities,
wow, he's
5,700.
expecting really. he's- When did you get
He
all
is.
like that?
He's got his well, that doesn't do anything compared to my target because that predicated that this 3,500 low. Remember I did this before? I'll do the math again. We did like what 4830 minus 2,200. So that's easy. Wait, yep, that's 2,600. So if you add 2,600 to 3,500, ho, 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 that puts you at 7,100. There, I topped you, beans and rice. If this is a generational low here, I don't know. The way Apple was looking today, I was thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to the October lows, and then we turned it around. So that's a nice target. Thanks for the 4.99. We can go to, I guess Wendy's has that big meal now that you can get for 4.99. So we'll see if we can get Raz to
I'm
transfer
surprised
that
we
to
could
us.
get anything for $4.99 anymore.
Yeah, they
But
got this thing. I mean, I look at it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know if like chicken nuggets and a sandwich and fries and a drink, those How is Wendy's doing? Let's look at the restaurant stocks. Let's look at everybody hungry. Not seeing anything in that sticking out.
it's all
MCD.
about the wings, man.
Oh, the Wingstop, the Wingstop. Oh boy. You should see my guest Kevin Merritt that I had on from Wedbush. He showed me some statistics on chicken wing prices, and they have come down. They have come down, man. That is good. Hanging out. Wingstop. What about Ruth Chris? You ever been to Ruth Chris?
Yeah, I have been to a roof, Chris.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ruth is having a bad day. Man,
Yeah.
yeah. What
Expensive
else?
steak, expensive
Yeah.
cows. All
Yeah,
right.
and they sizzle it in that butter, and you're like you can feel your heart just stopping while you're eating it. What else
What
do we
about the
got for us,
cake? What
guys?
about the cake?
Portions are too big. Um,
I think I've heard Joel say that for at least 2 years now.
man, that's I don't know. I don't man, just such a downtrend in it. What else? What about what someone was looking for a Texas Roadhouse breakout? Did that ever happen?
I got
Just
you one
hanging
that's
out
sneaking
now.
sneaking towards the upside here.
Yep.
Domino's Pizza.
What's going on with Domino's Pizza? Domino's Pizza
Domino's
delivers
last 2 days.
Ann Arbor,
Interesting,
Michigan company.
interesting
Uh,
push.
yeah, it's on its way back. What about CMG? But if we're the broke consumer,
You're
ooh,
following my charts over here, Joel. You
oh
can see my
really?
screen. That's how it
All right,
is.
I'll let you control back.
All right,
Control
no
back.
more guac talk. No more guac talk. We'll go into other stocks here. One stock that doesn't seem to be turning things around is definitely DraftKings. Let's look at that disaster today.
Oh,
And it's a
man.
disaster. But one thing I would say, this is clearly how sometimes how you look at a report can really determine the outcome, right? If you look at the report, maybe with a little bit of a bullish tune, you would think, okay, well, they're increasing revenues by 136% in a quarter, a year over year outlook in third quarter to 502 million. So they're making more money. Unique payers increased. Okay. They increased their customers. They increased also on the average spend that these are going to embedding, right? Now, when you start thinking cash flow, what is this company really doing? It's sending cash out the window. It's burning it. And that's why they have this down outlook. But I mean, it's all about how long you can kind of wait for them to get to profitability. And will that ever become their focus?
You know what? It's just, people losing money. You know what I mean? Look at that. I don't know. Yeah, not DraftKings. It's going to be like Draft Ponds or something. I don't know.
Draft
I don't know.
bonds.
I just don't know. It's just going back to, I looked at this morning and I was thinking, maybe this 12, 20 area will hold, but no, people just throwing in the towel today, big volume. You got to think that's going back to its SPAC price. Now, Penn's going the opposite way and having an inside day. So, man, what about Win? When was that?
It's
When did our
staying in the
buddy?
winning. It's staying in the
Yeah,
winning space. I'll
yeah.
tell you that. And I
So
probably was one of the only few to make money on the short on win this week. But I mean, hey, that I might have just been some good execution in between. But win doesn't want to turn around right now. And of course, if China keeps
there
mentioning
you
that they're
go. Big
reopening,
catalyst. Yep.
well, then you're going to continue seeing the drive here. So we just need to keep watch to see what happens in China. Does that change tune? Something to watch.
Well, the FXI held on. Who knows? You're going to wake up Monday, and who knows what heck is going to happen in China overnight. What about how did the Bobster do?
It's not even the only worry. Now I hear talks of North Korea and stuff. Oh my God. It just don't
What's
talk about politics.
what's what's going on in North Korea?
Oh, they had like 100 and some crazy stuff going on there. Joel, take a look
COVID?
at what's going on. No, it's South Korea, North Korea. We're doing these military drills. Then North Korea says, you know what? Let's put a bunch of fighter jets in the sky. See what happens. Of course, South Korea goes and sends up their fighter jets. These are kind of situations that I don't want to be hearing from, because it just seems like the tensions out there, and especially in that side of the globe, put it this way, I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that side. It's just scary. It's scary, the kind of stuff
so
that you
much
hear out
going
there.
on in the geopolitical. That's one thing you just can't control,
Yeah, and you
Well,
can't. And how do you position portfolios for that? It's really hard. It's almost impossible. But let's keep going. Let's go towards some other stocks that have been moving today. Carvana, the big miss of the day, and I've been talking about it. I don't know if they're going to be able to survive this time, and
Oh
it doesn't
my
look
God.
good. And when you see volumes like that on a day like today, that shows me bulls letting go. 63.5 million shares traded versus the day prior, only at 18 million. That
You
shows
wouldn't
me,
think that this thing could go down $5.50,
yeah.
You just didn't think man,
When you miss on your loss expectation of $1.95 and you come out with a loss of $2.67, that's not going to help you, right? And I saw a couple of analysts play the game today. It was kind of funny. I'll say JPM probably got the better end. They came out and pulled their rating and said, "Watch out, a bear case here could bring you down to 50 cents." And then, of course, Needham maintained buy on Carvana and lowered price target to $20. I'm like, come on. We got to be a little bit harder than that. How can you maintain a buy on a chart like this? I just don't know.
Wow, what a shellacking. What else is in this? What about how's CarMax holding up?
CarMax is a little bit.
Yeah, that's still down. Boy, I tell you, I'd be shaking in my boots if I was on this one. I mean, I know they probably have different business models and stuff, but looks
Yeah.
like, you know what, that 65 kind of reminds me of the Qualcomm at 120 ahead of earnings. Qualcomm, it's limping its way back. Made a new low for the move yesterday, so up 276. But yeah, the Qualcomm, as we talked about with the the handset news, that sacked Apple, right? And kind of recirculated the rounds today. But let's accentuate the positives instead of focusing on the negatives.
All right. So then we'd have to stick to the positive side of the market today. Basic materials up 5.19% on the day overall from the open, 2.38. What's leading there? Copper is actually leading this industry, this sector today. Copper, SCCO is the one that I'm going to give instead of FCX because everybody always likes to look at Freeport. But look at this one, Southern Copper Corp. Been talking about this one since the 21st on October and starting to see it finally get out of the range. That $50 got through it.
So this, I mean, seeing and dust like the materials and that doesn't sound recessionary like, does it? I mean,
No, it doesn't.
who else I think's having a good day? I think X is having a good day.
Yes,
Yeah,
steel.
that gapped up 21. What's the ETF you use for your basic materials?
Basic material. I mean, you got a bunch of them. I mean, if you wanted to
What's the
include,
big one now? Is it X?
uh, what
Can't
do we
think.
got there? We can do
No.
XLB for materials.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably going to be your probably closest one there is XLB.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
that's your Spiders materials ETF. But I like to do more stock picking when I talk materials. And stock picking for me in materials, a lot of times I end up where? In Santa's coal chest. Santa's bringing coal this year, that's for certain. Take a look at the move in BTU, Peabody
B-
Energy.
BTU. That's always been a mover, huh?
Yeah, I've been waiting
Boom.
for it to get through 25. Yesterday we got through it, but then we closed where? 23.79. Even though we got through it. Then today we go right back to those highs as it went right back up.
Let's see what I can do here for you guys. I haven't played with this tool in a while. Ooh, come on down. Man, I wish I had my Oculus goggles and then I could just go boom and just get it on there right away. But that wasn't too bad. But I'm gonna go with the triangle here. And boom, boom, boom. Let's see here.
Getting fancy with it.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, look at that. There you go.
Got
BTU.
her.
There we go. On the month. That's not a bad looking. That's an ascending triangle, right? Is that what I'm doing there? Or
Pretty
rising
close.
wedgie? What is that? That's something.
I mean, that looks pretty even to me. You're talking about the monthly, right?
Yeah, the bottom right.
Yeah, monthly. I have. Yeah, I mean, it depends how you draw it up, but in the long sense, it's a bullish trend holding around the 20s. That you can clearly see there, right? And then what are you trying to get through? Well, that 30 spot, right? We can't close any monthly high there. All you see is kind of wicks. The bodies don't close past 27. So if we can get really past it, that monthly high from March 22, you got a high there, 2770.
Yeah,
Let's
right
look for
there.
that push.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, last month, I mean, first things first. I mean, to me, if this could clear last month's high Then I mean, I think you're off to
28.74.
the races on this one. Boom. Let's go to the old trusty data window. All right, let's play it up to 28.74, and then I mean, get above that. Get above. We'll keep that one up there. That's the old Joel formation. I kind of like that. I like that the lows. I touch on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lows, and then the highs aren't as pretty. There's only 3 of them, but not a bad looking chart. And what else is there for Coles KOL? Is that something, or did I make that up?
You might have made it up, but I can give you other ones here. One that
ARCH.
I like AMR.
This
I've
one
been
looks like it's the best in breed here.
yeah.
AMR. Boom, 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 boom. Up 9 sticks. Almost near. Yeah. Alpha Metallurgical Resources. $170 stock. Trade 250,000. That sounds like a lot of fun to trade. But did we get follow through in the cruise lines? Royal Caribbean.
Let's take a look here.
Little bit.
Norwegian does report next week on Tuesday, so just keep that in mind. So these could turn back around towards the downside. I just don't know what we're going to get from the earning reports from these cruise lines.
Yeah, well, RCL didn't help anybody with the interpretation of things.
Yeah.
We're trying this Wednesday's close is just like a magnet. Now you guys are probably sick of hearing me talk about it. 67.75 after we got kapow. But boom, we're right there. And I wanted to close above that today. And it looked like we almost stunk into the 37.80 handle, but right back down. I'm not sure if we got some imbalances or what, but still hanging in there, up 39 handles. It just doesn't feel like we're up that much just because you've had so much chop. But what else you want to cover? What else was from the earnings land today? Can you remember?
Yeah, I got everything here. We can take a look.
What about
Let's go to
Gilead? I just want to look at
oh,
that. Ooh, it got through 80. Ooh,
that's the
I don't know.
chart that I still gotta tell Dennis. Don't tell me it looks ugly next time. Because this was a good one, man. This was a good one. That's been a good break on the monthly chart. Really nice break.
Okay. All right. Keep going, and I'll just or if we kind of been ignoring the chat as of late, and
Let's do some chat. Let's do some
it's
chat
not because of
stickers.
bad behavior or anything. It's just we just get so caught up and
Marshall
yeah.
wants Meta. Let's do Meta for Marshall.
Marshall wants Meta. That was included in my article today. That is now the 26th largest component in the S&P 500 index. Well, if you would have done now, the undercut and rally did work. It took out the low.
Man,
88.41 went to 88.09. You're now back above it. Man, this is like one,
this is
two,
bad.
2 out of 3, 3 out of 4, 3 out of 5, 4 out of 6, 5 out of. I mean, it's due for a bounce, but I mean, how many times could you say that before you get slapped aside the head? What am I looking at here? I mean, I think first things first. Obviously, on Friday, the high 91.39. Your weekly numbers are not going to do you anything here. And then I was watching Amazon over the last couple of days. It just seems like these things just like every rally just gets so oversold. So this is the first time it's had a couple lows in the same area at $88. I didn't drill down. Let's see if there's a monthly level here. Going back. Oh, look at that. Your October 2015 low, 88.36. Not bad if you waited. Wow, that's giving back 7 years worth of gains. So, yeah, not looking bad. I mean, even for this to get up to the gap area would be the high on that earnings day, 102.50. So, looks bad. I would lean on the 88, and, it takes out the 88. Well, retry again. Go look at your next monthly low.
Well, I mean, this is one of those questions that I'd love to ask you sometime, Joel, and do a little bit deeper dive in. But how do you think about sometimes even selling long-term positions because you think that the story has truly changed. Because Meta is one of those things that if you had it in the long-term account, let's say back in that 2015, then you saw it go all the way up there towards the 350, and you didn't take profits because you were kind of more in a I'm just gonna hold this position, being in a hold mentality. Then you watch it come all the way back here towards your entry or where you got in
Yeah.
7 years ago. What do you feel after that? Like, how do you, that these are my confusing moments as sometimes being a trader, thinking long term, short term. This is where I feel like you've done really awesome in,
Yeah,
Joel.
because I
So
don't,
definitely,
because the head of the investment committee doesn't sell, and
well, I guess I'm gonna have to bring Lisa.
yeah, I mean, it depends, where you're. I mean, but it's not just like a year or two, like 7 years. If you've been for 10, 15 years, it's your cost base is really, this is like the only one that I really got stuffed on.
Hmm.
And actually, I think the original entry point wasn't that bad. I think the original entry point was like $25. It was that little piece that she bought up at like 145 or something. And I said, okay, let's pick a stop, 130. We're going to get out at 130, right? And okay. And then it was back, it got crushed and kind of bounced back up to 130 and it didn't. So, it all depends what your situation is
Yeah,
with what you need. Someone like you, Mitch, you should just put, I mean, I know it's hard, but over the course of time, instead of buying a house and investing in the market. So I
yeah,
know it's easier said than done, and the interest rate environment has changed. But it's just I'd rather if something gets taken over, that's one thing, you got to redeploy the assets. But
okay,
I did look the other day, and and it's just because of cash, and then also because of a commodity fund that I've had that has done nothing for like 100 years. My main I looked, I was down 13%. And I was pretty darn happy with that. That was,
yeah,
I have some other
definitely,
ones that are varied on that, but you know, don't have those outrageous years where I'm in the growth stocks and I make 20, 30, 40%. More accumulate the 4, 6, 4, 6, 7, 4, 6, 7, 4, 6, 7, over a period of time, and then you lose 2 years of it. That year's not over yet, but that's just the importance of that, diversification. And really, like I said, the only thing that I really got stuffed on was the Peloton and the GME. I just would, I mean, it's all different now. Just had a small piece of that, and I was just sick of talking about it on the show, and so I finally convinced. That was a little bit of an argument, but finally got out of that one. It was actually the all-time closing high price on that. But we got 3 minutes left, Mitch. We got anything else popping in the chat?
yeah. We can do Nvidia and AMD. Nvidia is probably the one that I would look at because I feel like it's finally at least
It's
coming
great.
back.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
coming back at least. You can really say it. And one thing that I would say now is if you look at the daily chart, you see around, let's say, around 131s or 130 acting as support. And now the 50-day moving average is actually moving right there. It's at
really.
131.10. So you're going to have technical traders thinking that that's a support that they could probably use to risk off of. So I think that you're starting to see kind of at least bottoming action in the short term for Nvidia here. And you could start seeing it push back towards that gap down from September
Mm-hmm.
1st, where that was
Easily.
that first kind of cut down that we got in Nvidia and starting to make its way back.
A little bit shorter term here. I'll have to go 42.10. That was your high on Wednesday. 42.29. You backed off there, so that's what you can key on. For Monday's trading. Uh, since it had that gap down day, your next target's up to 45.47. But just back when Nvidia was its true Nvidia, back in these days, I mean, it would have three, four, I mean, it would have multi-day winning streaks. Now, the complexion of the market has changed. Closed. All right, looks like 37.81, 37.80. We're closing above that level, Mitch. So not a bad day in the market, all things considered. Closing 25 handles off the high. So the Bulls did okay. They got a little bit scared, but not a bad day for the market. So I'm gonna hop on out of here, do my wrap, and we'll talk to you guys. Have a safe weekend, and as always, go blue.
Go blue. Have a good one, Joel. Take care, my friend, and we'll see you on Tuesday because Joel will be out on Monday. Just giving you guys the insight there. So don't kill the messenger. Just letting you guys know, my man Joel taking another day, and can't blame him for it. I would do so myself. But have a great week. We'll see what happens, of course, on Monday. Reach out to me, guys, at Money Mitch BZ. If you guys want to do maybe a Sunday stock watch, or you guys want to start doing some more kind of late night action looking at charts, I'm more than willing. But I want you guys to let me know what you want to see, because at the end of the day, I do this for you guys, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. Hit the thumbs up on your way out and have a great, safe weekend. I know that I have some family visiting over, so I'm going to have a good time. You guys do the same and stay safe out there. See you next time right here on Benzinga, and always trying to help you guys up those skills. Let's keep going.